Hello, my name is Dr. Jerry the First Oguzie, JP. I am the convener of the Community of Wealthcreators. On 5th of December 2021, we held the 7th edition of our core program on the Hot Seat Personality Program, in which Dr. Benn Oaikhena sat on the hot seat and fielded questions from our members. It was very awesome. Now, so we are presenting that recording to you. If you were present at that meeting, then this will refresh your memory of the things Dr. Benn said and what you can do about them. And if you missed out, well, you have a second chance to actually watch, listen, and hear, then take home some messages from that program. So I bid you try and implement some of the things that he mentioned in the course of the presentation. Have a very great day today. Doctor. Hello? Can you hear me? Dr. Kwedike, can you hear me? Hello, doctor. Is he there? Can you hear me? Dr. Kwedike, can you hear me?
I suppose that we're all seated. The convener, Dr. Jerry the First Oguzie, JP, the deputy convener, the assistant convener, my humble self, the outstanding member of the community, our guest today, Dr. Benn Oaikhena. Dear word creators, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to welcome all of you to the program of the Community of Wealth Creators titled Onthehotseatpersonalityprogram. Program. This is the 7th edition. And if you've been attending the program, you will know that we mean serious business with it. So far, all those who have sat on the community's hot seats have discharged and acquitted themselves meritoriously. And I'm certainly convinced that the present guests will do same or even much more. We do not expect less. So let me invite you all to sit back, listen, learn, and enjoy. As the pilots will say, let's sit relax, and enjoy the flight. My name is Dr. Dennis Benn Oaikhena, your outstanding member of the community and the moderator of this program. Can I have, unmute yourself, give me a round of applause, please. Thank you. The panelists for this 7th edition of our program are the following. Mr. Oscar Morgan, who is going to serve as our lead panelist. Dr. Kester Ifugo, who is the second panelist. Dr. Mrs. Chinwe Ekwedike, the third panelist. And Mr. David Owusokoko, the fourth panelist. A round of applause for them, please. Unmute yourself again and give them a round of applause. Thank you, and thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, at this juncture, may I invite Nurse Faith Adeze Enekwachi to read the abridged citation of our guest on the hot seat, Dr. Benn Oaikhena. Nurse Enekwachi, please.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Let's go straight.
Good evening.
Let's go straight to knowing who on the hot seat is. Born in Lagos when his mates were born, our guest on the hot seat today had his primary education at Christ Assembly School and his secondary education at Ejeromi Ofoludu High School, both at Arorumi, Apapa. He graduated as the best academic student. And from there, he proceeded to the University of Lagos, where he earned a degree in dental surgery. His postgraduate education were at the Johns Hopkins University, Maryland, United States of America. Public health at the University of Toronto. He did dental implantology. And currently at the University of Illinois Urban Campaign, United States of America, he also did business administration. His competencies are diverse and include dental health care, public health management, leadership and policy, entrepreneurship, business administration, personal finance, and financial literacy. He's the co-founder/chair of the Regal Group of Companies and the CEO at Regal Dental Clinic International. His business interests are dental healthcare, nutrition, body grooming, training and publishing, and event facility rentals. He has trained in several public and private organizations for over a decade in areas such as personal finance and budgeting, business growth and development, strategic management, sales and customer service, leadership, health management, and personal productivity. He is the founder of a number of non-for-profit, social, and professional development organizations, such as the Personal Development Clinic, that is PDC, a group that teaches and supports people in personal productivity and effectiveness. A few others are Society of Ethical Orientation, that is SEO, Young Dentists of Nigeria, that is YDN, etc. He's a mentor to a number of startups and established entrepreneurs. He earned the prestigious Herbert Humphrey Fellowship Award from the government of the United States of America in 2005. He's married with 2 children and enjoys reading, traveling, and networking. At this juncture, ladies and gentlemen, join me as you unmute yourselves to welcome to the podium today with a thunderous ovation our personality on the hot seat of the Community of Wealth Creators today, Dr. Benn Oaikhena. Unmute.
A round of applause, a round of applause, and a round of applause. Thank you.
Can you all hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Thank you, Nurse Enekwachi, for that wonderful brief version of the citation. Our guest today is well lettered and is also an entrepreneur. That is very exciting. Ladies and gentlemen, may I now most respectfully invite a convener of the Community of Wealth Creators, Sir Dr. Jerry the First Oguzie, JP, for his opening address.
The Deputy Convener, Mr. Jerry the Second Oguzie, the Assistant Convener / Outstanding Member of the Community, Dr. Janice Obinna Ekwedike, dear Wealth Creators, our guests on the hot seat of the community, Dr. Benn Oaikhena, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. It gladdens my heart to be here again to sit in and learn from the guests on the hot seat of the Community of Wealth Creators for the 7th time. Permit me to briefly inform you about the community. On the 19th of April, 2021, the board of Top Media and Communications Nigeria opened the door of membership of the Community of Wealth Creators to interested persons who are taking part in the monthly online book reading challenge she organized in the year 2020, and thus was the community born. The Community of Wealth Creators, aka COWEC, is an assemblage of men and women, boys and girls, who are determined to break the code of wealth creation and become generational wealth creators. It is your go-to platform for tips, techniques, and strategies for wealth creation. We train our members to acquire and possess the mindset for wealth creation through the reading of books and posts on wealth creation that are posted on the various blogs we use for our services, and then actually putting what they have learned into practice, because we believe that it's only in acting out what is learned can success be achieved. Thus, the major aim and object of the Community of Wealth Creators is to bring every person who has subscribed to it up to speed on the ways and means of creating wealth, even when there is nothing on ground to do so. Membership of the community cuts across the generations and the professions. We have 70-year-old men and women in the community. We have 18, 20-year-old young people in the community. We have students, we have medical doctors, we have lawyers, architects, engineers, nurses, pharmacists, name it. Every profession is represented. We also have students as members of the community. Our vision is to aid and assist at least 2,000 persons to become financially independent over the next 5 years, starting 1st of January 2022 to December 31st, 2026. Our mission statement is to be the one-stop community for all discussions and activities concerning wealth creation. Membership of the community is free. You shall be hearing more of us as you interact and interface with us directly or indirectly. On the Hot Seat Personality Program is one of the core programs of the community in which we invite persons of repute to field questions from our members in their respective professions and also on issues concerning wealth creation and poverty escape. This is the 7th edition, and I'm happy that my good friend, Dr. Benn Oaikhena, willingly accepted to occupy the hot seat today. I am certainly convinced that he will bring his wealth of experience to bear on the questions that will be asked here and today. Let me then welcome all of you to this occasion, as I look forward to having you join the community to have a meaningful online engagement and also to learn how to spend your data wisely. God bless us all. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much, the convener, for that wonderful opening address as usual. Ladies and gentlemen, could you unmute yourselves and give a round of applause to our convener? Thank you, and thank you. Okay, before we proceed, it will be nice that I marshal out our ground rules so that this evening's exercise will go on smoothly. Ground rule 1, all mics are to be muted while question and responding section is going on. 2, asking and responding to each question would last not more than 4 minutes. May I remind us that I'm also your timekeeper. So once I call you to order, you comport yourself accordingly. 3, the questions are to be asked in rotation amongst the panelists, starting with the lead panelist. 4, there shall be 3 questions from the audience at the exhaustion of the questions from the panelists. May I also ask all those who are attending our program for the first time to kindly drop their names, email addresses, and WhatsApp-enabled phone numbers in the chat box so that we can follow up with them when the recording of this program is released. Thank you. And may I now invite the lead panelist, Mr. Oscar Morgan, with the first question. Mr. Morgan, please. Mr. Morgan, are you with us? Dr. Kester, you might ask your question if Oscar Morgan
is
having issues.
The questions flow. Let's get the first question, please.
Okay.
Is Oscar here now?
Is Oscar Morgan back?
Okay, let me take that question.
Okay, thank you.
All right, so it says, as a dental surgeon, are you exactly what you wanted to be growing up? What was your passion? I mean, what was driving your passion, or what drove your passion? How about you, Dr. Benn?
All right, thank you very much, everyone. I'm so delighted to be here. And the seat is really getting hot. And I think I have to really behave myself because I have a number of panelists that are ready to panel with me this evening. All right, thank you very much, Dr. J. Oguzie, for inviting me, to be in a hot seat this evening. And Thank you, everyone who has taken time off to be part of this meeting. I'll make it really simple and so that we can get value before we leave this place. Now to the first question, am I really doing what I wanted to do, or am I today what I wanted to be while growing up? What fueled my passion to becoming a dental surgeon? Am I correct?
Yeah, that's the question, yes.
All right, thank you very much. Yes, I would say yes, and correctly so, because so many people have found themselves in professions they didn't actually want it to be. It doesn't make it good or bad. But in my own case, as a teenager at 16, I saw a movie called entitled Return to Eden, where a cosmetic surgeon fixed a mango's face. A lady was pushed into a lake infested with crocodiles, and she was brutally attacked, but she survived the ordeal, and a cosmetic surgeon who happened to be a medical doctor that is specialized in cosmetic surgery fixed her face, and she became a stunning beauty and won so many accolades and laurels on the catwalk. I mean, on stage. And she became so beautiful that the guy who did that, who pushed her into the lake, didn't recognize her any longer and even wanted to marry her. So what happened is that movie made a strong impression on me, and I told myself I was going to become a cosmetic surgeon. But in those days, when I made my inquiries, I was told you cannot study cosmetic surgery in Nigeria. And so I asked, what is close to cosmetic surgery? And I was told dental surgery. And so at 17, when I did JAMB, I filled my JAMB forms to study dental surgery and proceeded to the University of Lagos, where I studied dental surgery. And I'm so glad today that I'm a dental surgeon, because I also wanted to be in dental practice in the private sector. So as a teenager, I wanted to be in private practice, and today I'm in private practice. And so I'm so glad about that. Now, what happens is this: I tend to follow my passion in life. I do things that I'm happy doing, and that is why my mantra as a dental surgeon is, once I meet you, my mantra or my elevator speech is, I am Dr. Benn Oaikhena. I'm a dental surgeon. I create smiles that open doors. Today, in dental surgery, there is a specialty called cosmetic dentistry. So I'm a cosmetic dentist. So I specialize in the aspects of dentistry that has to do with enhancing your looks, either through tooth whitening, and tooth color fillings and some other procedures that I don't want to go into here that may be too technical. But I'm just a cosmetic dentist, and I'm living my dreams. So thank you very much for the question.
Wow. Thank you very much. A round of applause for him, please. The second question. Oscar, if you're back, you take when it comes to your turn again. Dr. Kestefuga, please.
Thank you, Dr. Ekwedike. Dr. Benn Oaikhena, thank you very much. Welcome to the hot seat. It's obvious from your bio that you have not limited yourself to the practice of dentistry alone. What fueled your participation in other spheres of life, especially the not-for-profit sector?
Thank you for the question. I'm a very curious person, so I like exploring my environment. Despite the fact that I went to study dental surgery as my primary calling, I started off with the practice of dental surgery, and over time, I started pursuing my other passions. For example, I like training, I like teaching. So I decided to go into training, into teaching. And from time, I've always found it gratifying helping people. Even as a teenager, I had set up organizations, little, quasi organizations to help people who were in need. I had to teach people. I even started doing that in school. While I was in secondary school, after school hours, I would gather my classmates and I would start teaching them, especially the science subjects. I would take white past question papers, I would start teaching. And so I helped a number of my classmates. And while I was in university, I recall at the time I was sponsoring another student at the Lagos State University while I was in the University of Lagos, right? And I have come to realize in life that we can only make the world a better place if we can help as many people as possible, have a decent life. But man has not found the essence of living if you have not found why you can die for others. And so it wasn't a surprise at all when I veered into the not-for-profit industry. And I have really find it, interesting. And what gives me that satisfaction is when I see people able to turn around their lives, from the shackles of poverty or from crass ignorance to knowledge. When people win accolades, laurels, when people are able to move to a higher, quality of life, it gives me great satisfaction. So it wasn't difficult at all for me to go into helping people and to setting up non-profit organizations. And as I say today, if people like Martin Luther King did not help other people, he was a clergyman. He could have just remained within his church and preached to his congregation. But no, he pursued something bigger than that. He went into the civil rights movement. And today, we can say it is the freedom the Black race enjoys in America today, it's largely attributed to him. And people like me wouldn't have been given 100% scholarship to study in America in 2005 if people like Martin Luther King didn't help in the liberation of other people. So it does help, the reward are so great if you take out time and you deploy your resources into helping other people live better. And so that's one of the reasons I decided to identify myself with COWEC, this community of wealth creators. As soon as Dr. Oguzie told me to come, to the hot seats, I quickly accepted his request because it is something I like to identify with, helping other people grow.
Wow. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Oaikhena.
Dr. Mrs. Chinwe Kwedike, could you come up with your question, please?
Good evening, Dr. Ben.
Thank you. Good evening.
Hope mine will not make your seats to be hotter. My question goes this way. Dentistry is one aspect of medicine that many of us still do not patronize as we should. Down here in the Southeast, there's this substance they used to sell. Dr. Agnes, I don't know if you've heard about it. They sell it in the market. People think it's better than going to a dentist clinic. Then what do you think has led to the low uptake of dental services by most people?
All right. Yes, in Nigeria, very few people really consume dental services. And one of the biggest challenge we have is lack of dental education or awareness. Most people are not aware of the benefits of dental services. So some have not even heard about a dentist, okay? And so that is a major challenge. And it is partially the fault of we dental professionals because we haven't really done much in creating that awareness. I just say part of the reason is our fault. Now, another thing is that people are afraid of going to the dentist. They see a visit to the dentist as synonymous with pain, right? When I was in primary 4, when we were learning idioms, I learned idioms like as fat as an elephant, as busy as a bee, as small as an ant, and as painful as a visit to the dentist. I was only in primary 4 when I read that idiomatic expression. So, and I didn't know I was going to become one. And later in life, when I discovered I was going to become a dentist, I told myself, I have to practice dentistry with TLC, tender loving care. So today, I make my patients have that experience, that will make them want to come back. And that is why I go around with the mantra, I create smiles that open doors. So yes, over time, the dental awareness is increasing. Okay, as a professional, I've been practicing here in Abuja for about 2 decades, and I can tell you when we came in initially, it was the traffic was pretty low, but today so many people are interested in taking up dental services. For example, in our practice, we use the social media a great deal, and we'll see the number of people who are interested, the level of inquiries, and those who follow up. But I think it can be better than it is today, because if you compare the level of uptake of dental services in Nigeria compared to even other African countries, you will discover that Nigeria is pretty low. Another problem here, why people don't take up dental services, is because of our purchasing power parity. So many Nigerians are not economically empowered. We have a large population, but largely poor. So they cannot afford basic health services. And affordability is a big problem. Sometimes we see people who come to the clinic and can't afford to pay for the service, and then, some of them either go back or look for other alternatives, which may not be better. So we can then talk about some other factors I consider minor, like the fear of pain, like apathy. Some people just don't care. And then there are all kinds of beliefs, like the thing you just told me now, that some people use one local thing and believe that is better than seeing a dentist. People use charcoal sometimes. Some people use a spirit when they have a toothache. Some people believe that there's a worm in the tooth, and they go to people who take out some maggots from a hole in their teeth. And all those things are beliefs, and they're not true. They're not factual. So many people have that belief that merely using the chewing stick is better than visiting the dentist. But I think with time, awareness will keep growing as it is. You being in this meeting today, at least will know a bit more about dental health, and I think you will transmit the information to as many people as possible. So thank you.
Mr. David Owusokoko, you fire your question, please. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, good evening, Dr. Ben. Yeah, and a very pleasant welcome to this program.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's really interesting to have you here. So, yes, sir. So my question is, what is your own understanding of the term wealth creation?
Okay, wealth creation.
Yes, sir.
Okay, wealth creation is it's a process of investing in different kinds of assets, right? So that you can generate income, especially for the future, right? It's as simple as that. Any money you set aside, or any resource you set aside, that you will invest in such a manner that you hope it will give you more value or give you more income in future. It's wealth creation. So accumulation of assets, produce long-time income. That is wealth creation. And this can be done when you spend less than you earn and then invest the difference. There's a difference between saving and investing. Saving is typically money you keep aside to use in the future, but typically in less than 1 year. That's saving. But investment is money you keep aside for the future, typically over 1 year, right? So wealth creation is very important. As I defined it, it's very important because it is something you fall back upon in future. I don't know if that explains it in very simple terms.
Thank you.
Yes.
Okay, hey, Mr. Oscar Morgan, if you're in, you could fire your question, your second question, please.
Okay, sir.
And please
Good
remember
evening,
what I said. Okay, Oscar, thank you. Go ahead.
Nice to have you. Nice to have you, sir. So
Thank you.
Okay, I asked my question, sir. If productivity has to do with maximization of time to improve output, now how can someone leverage on this to create wealth? I don't know if you got my question.
Okay. Productivity and its correlation with wealth creation. Now, what is productivity? You define it as maximization of time to improve output or to give you more value. Now, productivity is anything you put in, any resource, whether time, money, your physical energy, your skills, your knowledge, anything you put in to get an output, right, is productivity. Now, I'll give you a good example. If, for example, you decide to take up the challenge of fixing people's shoes, that is productivity, right? And what you get as a reward is your output, right? So in order to have resources to create wealth, remember I said that if you want to create wealth, you need to put in resources, either money, gold, or other things of value, right? Put it into a process that can generate income, right? That you will need in future. So when we increase our productivity, we will then get reward, or we will get an outcome, or we'll get value that we can then invest. And that investment will now generate income in the future. Okay? So if you decide to take up a job, as you work, you earn an income. As you're working, what we say is going on, what you're producing is called productivity. While you're working and earning a wage, a salary, or an income, you now take part of that income, you put it into an investment, and that investment will generate more income. So you can see that productivity, wealth creation is tied to productivity, right? So productivity can mean you working, right? Or you are involved in business or in entrepreneurship. So this is very, very important we understand this. And you can increase your productivity. When you increase your productivity, what will happen is this: your income will increase, because there is a strong correlation between productivity and increase in income. And when your income increases, it means you will now have more money to invest. And if you have more money to invest, it then means your wealth will increase. So what you have to use in future will increase. So this is why it is important that we all become productive. We all look at the time we have, which is pretty short, to pass through this world. And we look at that time and ensure we put that time into productive use. Because what I observe today in our society is that most people waste their time in very unproductive things. So what happened largely is that they spend more time on entertainment or things that do not create value. So as a result, they do not have what they need to invest. And as a result, they never create wealth. So they end up in poverty. So if you observe very well, nations that understand productivity have the best economies. That is why in Nigeria, when you see these so many holidays, you know what's going on? When there are too many holidays, you are decreasing people's productivity. The productivity of the population is being decreased when there are too many holidays and free days. And so what happens is it tells on our economic output and the wealth we have as a country. So in the most successful countries, or what we can call in advanced countries, you will discover that people typically work for longer hours than they work in Nigeria. And there are few holidays, right? And typically you discover that the economies in most successful countries run practically for 24 hours. If you just go to Dubai here, the economy is 24 hours. You call the hotel, you get, you can book without much ado. Factories are working. There is lights everywhere. Is it that real estate industry is not sleeping? But here, even sometimes once it's Friday, the economy is shut down. So as individuals, it's important here that we learn to increase our productivity. And to increase your productivity, you must learn, right? You must increase your knowledge. You must upskill, increase your skill. That is why most people who do not increase their skills and knowledge remain at the same level they are for many years. But when you increase your skill, you increase your knowledge, you will automatically be increasing your productivity because you are going to apply the new skill or your better skill in your area of income generation. And it means if you improve your skills and you apply your skills and knowledge in your area of income generation, you will generate more income, which you will now have to invest, and your wealth will increase. I hope I'm communicating right here.
You are communicating.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, you are.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Yes, sir.
I want to observe the time so that the timekeeper does not use
I'm happy that he just said that. Kester, please. Dr. Kester.
Thank you, Dr. Ekwedike. Dr. Ben, injustice to all the questions so far.
Thank you, Kester.
So my question is this. There's a popular maxim that says health is wealth, and it's become almost a cliche. So we want to know what's the relationship between dental health and wealth creation?
All right. What's the relationship between dental health and wealth creation?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me take it from the background of general health, and then because dental health is a subset of general health. Research shows that healthy people are more successful, or people that do not often fall sick, or people that are successful, right? Economically successful, or that are wealthy, are typically less sick compared to the opposite. Okay, so there's a strong correlation between good health indices and wealth. the opposite is true also, that poor people who can't typically afford health services or do not have, sufficient health information are often sick, right? And so that also correlates with dental health. I'll just give you two instances. Dental health is so important for wealth creation. I don't know if you have at any time had a chunk of meat between your teeth and you're trying to remove that chunk of meat and the thing is not cooperating, it wouldn't go out. And so you get so troubled that you can't do anything. It's so distracting. And then you get a toothpick, you try to remove it, or you have a broken toothpick between your teeth. I've had patients who had come to the clinic just because they had a broken piece of a toothpick between their teeth. So we had to now, and they couldn't take it out. They tried for sometimes even 2-3 days. Then they had to come to the clinic, we had to take it out. Just imagine that situation. Just having that simple, inconvenience, right, will make you not able to read. It will make you not able to even walk or concentrate. So let alone when you have an intractable toothache, that is causing headache and disturbing your sleep. A man who cannot even eat, who cannot sleep well, cannot generate wealth, right? So it is important we have pristine dental health. And you can have pristine dental health if you seek dental health education. If you learn about dental health, you will know how to prevent common dental diseases that may incapacitate you and prevent you from accumulating wealth or generating wealth, okay? And if you have dental disease already, do not ignore them. Get to a dentist, get those diseases or disorders fixed. Once you fix them, you will enjoy good health and then you can generate wealth. Now, many people do not understand how to cheat the dentist. I will teach you how to cheat the dentist if you're interested. People think when they go to the dentist will tell them a problem they have. As a result of the knowledge, they will now be psychologically depressed. Or in short, people come to tell me that, look, I don't want you to tell me what my problem is. If I don't know, it's better. But they're wrong. You see, when you know you have a dental disorder or disease, and you walk in to see the dentist, when it hasn't started bothering you, it'll be cheaper. You will cheat the dentist because the treatment, right, or the intervention will be cheaper than when you come when things are already out of hand. Most people wait till their health has so deteriorated that they can't even sleep. Some will come with a swollen jaw. Some will come with, really bad. And at that instance, it must probably going to be more expensive to get the problem solved. So it is better to visit your dentist early enough. And so with good dental health, you will be comfortable. For example, I give you a good example. Somebody who has a gap tooth or probably has lost a tooth in front will find it difficult to smile. And why is the person afraid of smiling or shy to smile? Is because that has upset his or her appearance. And if you can't smile where you're supposed to smile, or you're not confident of yourself, you begin to lose your self-esteem. And when you lose your self-esteem, it's difficult to be involved in economic activity that can help you generate wealth, right? So it is important you get to fix your dental disorder or diseases so you can be hale and hearty and ready to generate or increase your wealth. Thank you.
Thank you.
Very much, Doctor.
Thank you.
Dr. Mrs. Ekwedike. Oscar, I know you're back. You'll be directing your people. Dr. Mrs. Ekwedike, your question, please.
Okay. Dr. Ben, I don't know. Your mantra has been really helping you out because your seat is not really hot. As I expected, your smiles keep opening a soft spot on all of us. Let me say, having been a private sector dental practitioner for a while now, what are the challenges you have faced? In
All right.
growing your practice and dental surgeon? Good.
All right. What are the challenges I've faced as a private dental practitioner? I would say one of the major ones you'll be surprised to know is poor dental health awareness in our populace. I have been fortunate to practice outside this country. I have once been able to practice in Dubai. I've not practiced, but I've worked with a number of dentists where I had my education in the UK. I was once at the Royal College of Surgeons and also in the United States. And I can tell you that if you see the number of people who take up services, dental services, who benefit from dental services in this environment, it's nothing compared to our own environment. And it's largely because of one, dental health awareness. People are aware, but here people are not aware of the benefits of seeing a dental surgeon or visiting a dental surgeon. Sometimes when our customer service professionals, those working with us, pick up inquiries from the public, probably through the social media and all that, you discover that so many people are interested in knowing what dental services are available and how they can access those services. And once you let them know they can access those services, and another challenge is that some of them don't show up to access those services, despite the fact that the benefits of those services are really important to them. Okay, now this is where people show that apathy. All right, so the number of people, Nigeria has a huge population, and we have very few dentists in Nigeria, very few. The bulk of the dentists you have in this country are within the metropolitan cities like Lagos, Abuja, Port Harcourt. Okay, and then there are states where you have maybe just one or two dentists, supposedly serving populations of over 3 million people. Okay, so that is one of the challenges, so that we have few people patronizing the dental clinics, largely because people don't understand the benefits of dental services. But as I told you previously, the dental awareness is increasing by the day. And today we are seeing that people don't mistakenly walk into medical facilities any longer. People know they have to see a dentist. As we are getting more educated, things are getting better. Now, another challenge, I will say, we have faced is the usual challenges that businesses in Nigeria face. For example, access to capital to either set up a dental clinic or to scale up an existing one. And of course, the credit facilities are far between or pretty few. Then the ones that are available have very high interest rates that many small and medium-sized clinics cannot afford, to take. And so then you have other problems like multiple taxation, you have problems like lack of power supply. So, and then you have a big problem in sourcing dental materials and equipment. Everything we use in dentistry, practically 99% of the things we use in dentistry are imported. So, and here you don't have established dental importers, people who import dental equipment and materials, as their mainstay, their main business. So what you have are just merchants and a few people who, when they travel, just bring in a few things and sell. Okay, so these are some of the challenges I've faced. But again, like every challenge in life, there's always a way around them. So in terms of awareness, we try to create awareness. Okay, we have our social media handles. We even have dental educations. We give dental education in schools, in corporate organizations. We are quite big on doing that in our own practice. Another thing you do is this: when it comes to capital, you can access capital because it's better than it used to be. There are some banks, even there are some schemes where you can get capital at single digits interest with a moratorium. Okay. And then we have to generate our own power sometimes because it's as bad as that, you know. So these are all challenges, but we are equal to the task. So we are soldiering on in running the private dental practice in Nigeria.
Mr. David, please, your question. Let's be fast a bit. We're kind of running behind schedule.
Yes, sir. So, Dr. Ben, yeah, my question is, in the early years of Nigeria's independence, there were three classes of citizens: the rich, the poor, and the middle class. But nowadays, it appears that only two classes can be identified. I mean, the rich and the poor. So what do you really think happened to the middle class?
Yes, that's a very good question. What you observe is that, first of all, let's understand who is in the middle class. If we follow, perhaps let's use the AFDB, the African Development Bank, if we use their own definition of middle class, they say middle class people who earn between people who spend between $20 per day. Okay, so if we use that parameter, we come down to Nigeria. How much is $2 today? $2 is about 1,200 naira. Okay, so if you are able to spend either 1,200 naira up to $20, $20 is about 12,000 naira, right? So anybody who is capable of spending between 1,200 and 12,000 naira every day is within the middle class. Okay, and typically people in the middle class are usually educated. That means they have post-secondary education, like either a degree, an HND, right, or even a master's or PhD. Okay, and these people typically live in urban centers. All right, sorry about that. Okay, sorry about that. I think my Wi-Fi just went off. I've just replugged it now. Okay. So am I to continue where I left off?
Let's take the next question.
All right.
Oscar, who is taking the next question?
Next question. Okay. So I'm taking the next question. I have a question to ask. Okay, my question goes like this, sir. There are two common syndromes attacking people of this present time. We have the immediate gratification syndrome and the entitlement mentality syndrome. So I want to ask, in which ways can someone wishing to create wealth escape from this syndrome?
All right. Now, what is the meaning of?
I don't know if you got my question, sir.
I got your question. Yes, you are asking. You are talking about immediate or instant gratification and entitlement mentality. That it's very common these days. Okay, and then how does one escape those maladies if one is about to create wealth? Am I correct? Are we there?
Yes, go ahead.
All right, fine. Okay, fine. You know what is instant gratification or immediate gratification? Most people, you know, today believe that, you know, it is better to take something or to get a reward now than to wait for the future, or to wait for the future, even if you are going to get a better reward in that future. And it's a big problem in our society. Okay, I'll give you an example will help illustrate this. You know, somebody set up a business for the reason that you know, they want to make money, a lot of money. Maybe they see they saw somebody who started a business, a particular business, and after some time the person started making a lot of money, and so without much ado, they just go into the same business and they're expecting to make money immediately. And if they don't make the kind of money they're expecting, they abandon the business. And you can call that seeking immediate or instant gratification. So, and I must tell you this, it's common these days to see people seeking instant gratification, unlike in those days. If we go back to history, you will discover that most of the professionals who became the doyens of their various professions, like Maja Kodumi in medicine, like Akitola Williams in accounting, like the late Rotimi Williams or Ganifa Emi in law, you observe that those people, when they graduated in those days, they started practicing, and they practiced for some time before they became household names, before they became successful. But today, people want to be successful as soon as even before they begin. And that means they are seeking instant satisfaction or gratification without even putting in some measure of work. I want to let us know that in nature, nature is systematic. If you plant a seed of corn now, you have to water it, you have to wait, you know, for it to germinate before, and it will take some time for it to germinate. Okay, it will take a few days before that will germinate. So you cannot rush that thing. And if you look at people today, they can't just wait. And the reason are so many. I'll just give you two or three. For example, okay, people, it actually shows low intelligence. All right. One of the reasons people like instant gratification is actually due to their low level of intelligence, because an intelligent person will know that you have to bide your time. You have to keep, for example, if you plant your seed, you have to water, you have to weed, you have to watch so that animals don't eat it up. Then you have to wait till the day of harvest. Now, you can't just plant today and get tomorrow. It is not, that's not how nature works. Although there are certain enterprises or endeavors we can go into and get instant gratification, but it does not apply to everything in life. You must work. You must pay your dues. Paying your dues doesn't mean it's like going to do Mwaboy for 6 years, for 6 years, and then before you get settled. I'm not saying you should be there for 6 years, okay? But that, for example, in that industry where you have to become a Mwaboy and they told you 6 years, and put your 6 years. That's why many Mwaboys, when they graduate, have you observed that most of them are largely successful? Because they took their time to understand the trade. They took their time, they bide their time, they endured. Before they graduate or before they are settled, they typically have a handle, on that industry or what they have learned. And that is why most of them carry on with the experience and skills and they become successful. But those who are in a hurry, where they just go and think they can get it immediately, check the most of the Nwa boys that ran away and they started their own business. If you go around Abuja, you find a lot of artisans who did not complete their tutelage, learning their skills. They are the ones going around and messing up their customers. So it pays to wait it pays to wait for delayed gratification, because while you are waiting, you are getting more mature, you are understanding the industry much more, you are building your skills, you are getting versatile. Okay. Then the other one is what we call entitlement mentality. Now, entitlement mentality is where people think that because they have a vertical relationship with somebody, vertical here means because they're either through a birth, siblings, or because somebody's their parents, or because they have a big brother, or they have somebody they consider better than them, and that they are entitled to the person's wealth or money. And then the behavior is typically that such people should give them part of that wealth. And that is entitlement mentality. And it's another thing that is very common these days. Most people just believe, and when Jim Rohn is arguably one of the best business philosophers that ever lived. He said, if you earn $1 million, you better become a millionaire. Otherwise, that money will go back to where it came from. So if people have this entitlement mentality where they just believe that they're going to take from somebody who is there to give to me anytime I want it. Observe very well. Most times what you don't earn, you lose, because you do not acquire the skills and you don't have the experience that was required for you to earn that thing. So you won't use it properly. So you end up losing it. Children that are over-pampered and inherited wealth, go check it. Most times, history has it that they become broke in less than 2 years. That is same thing, but that's what also happens to lottery winners. Lottery winners typically get broke in less than 5 years. So my advice to us in the house today is this: if you want to create wealth, believe or start believing in delayed gratification. You must keep applying your knowledge and skills consistently. If, as you apply it consistently, the reward may be slow at coming, but over time, it will come. When I started my practice in Abuja in early 2000s, of course, I started with little or nothing, absolutely nothing. I couldn't even afford a Tukumbo dental equipment. My first dental equipment was from Panteka in Kaduna. They pick scraps of metals and then put them together. A technician put them together to form my first dental chair. I used some paper to clean the dental chair and bought cap paint to spray it. And I started my practice in a one room, 12 by 12. And when patients walk in, then I will tell them, my equipment may not be exotic, but I get results. And they'll tell me, go ahead. I remember working alone. I had no nurse, no cleaner, no marketer, no accountant. I started from ground zero. And we started building it. I started building gradually. The first person that came to work with me was somebody who had just a school cert. All right. But today we have people who even have the masters and all that. And we are no longer in 12 by 12. We're in the space of over 154 square meters. And that is not the only business I have to do. I have 3 other companies that are active. Okay, but believe it, we started from the scratch, start building. I remember in those days, to get clients, dental patients, I would go from one pharmacy to the other. I'll tell them, as you sell your medicines to this patient, to your patients, let them know they still have to see a dentist for treatment. So some of them will say, we see a lot of them, we'll send them to you. Some of them will send them to me. After treatment, I will send them 10%. They'll be surprised. Nigeria, somebody giving me a commission that I didn't ask for. They say, okay, that's the right guy. Then they start pumping patients to me. And that's how we build our practice from the scratch. And so that is called delayed gratification. So today, I don't even have to call clients most of the time. I have people referring clients to me. Companies come in on their own, and then they rate us as in the top 5 in Abuja, right? By the grace of God, in all humility, we started that way. So it can happen to anybody. I want to adjure you, be consistent. Be very consistent. Dr. Jerry is doing this, the convener of this platform. One thing I like about him is his consistency, putting in that constant effort. If water must move the earth. It must rain in a particular location for a long time. And then before you know it, that flood will start moving the earth. It will move cars, move buildings. But if rain just falls, just a shower for a few minutes, that is not capable of moving the earth. So the same thing, you just keep applying your efforts. I keep applying your effort intelligently, improving your skills. Over time, you will be paid handsomely. I know I'm risking talking too much right here. So, dear panelists, you will pardon me if I'm talking too much.
Okay.
I hope I've answered the question.
Yeah, it's okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Kester. Is Kester in the house? Oscar, can you ask a second question from Kester's side? Oscar?
Hello, can you hear me now?
I'm about to ask the question.
Kester is here now.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you.
Okay.
Morgan asking the question. Hello.
Okay, I can ask.
Kester, go ahead.
Yes,
Okay, my question is this, Dr. Benn Oaikhena. That at your height, you have created wealth. All you have said. Now, at what point did you take the bold step to create your own wealth? And what steps did you take?
All right. At what point did I start creating my own wealth? I would say I started sometime in 1999. Right. That was when I started the process of wealth creation. Remember, not saving. All right. I was saving before that time. Okay. But wealth creation means an investment in assets that will generate income for the future. All right. If you put your money in the bank, that is not wealth creation. You know what I'm trying to say? You're just keeping your money. So my first attempt at wealth creation was when I bought a landed property in 1999. And since then, I started learning about wealth creation, and I have never stopped. Okay. And what I have done over time is to invest across several investment types, or different kinds of portfolios. I've invested in real estate. I've invested in shares, or what you call stocks. I've invested in the money markets. I've invested in bonds. I've invested in cryptocurrencies, right? So, and I have invested across jurisdictions also, and across markets. When I say across markets, I mean here that in different industries. Of course, you can see real estate is a market different from the bond markets, right? Or mutual funds markets. I've also invested across jurisdictions, right? Jurisdictions here can mean my real estate is not limited to Abuja, for example. I've invested in the Southeast. I've also invested in Lagos, right? And also in Ireland, okay? That's across jurisdiction. Typically, when you're investing, you do not test the waters with both feet. Invest across several markets, several investment types, and several jurisdictions. The reason is this: you want to hedge your investment. In case one investment fails, you hedge with another one, okay? And it is good to also invest, which I have done, in different types of portfolios. You be involved in high risk investments, meaning investments that will yield a lot of income will bring a large return on investment, right? But such investments are typically risky, all right? When you invest in risky ventures, also invest in safe ones, all right? Now, the proportion of what you invest from your investable funds will depend on your risk appetite, okay? Your risk appetite means how much can you stomach a loss? If you lose your money, some people, if they lose 1 naira, they'll commit suicide. Why somebody will lose 1 billion and is just smiling, all right? So people have different risk appetites. So understand your risk appetite. If you know you can't stomach loss, then you can invest in very safe investment portfolios. Save ones like bonds, save ones like mutual funds, right? Save ones, you know, even real estate, not really safe if you do not have knowledge. So one way to know which investments are safe and risky, you need knowledge. You need to see experts who will teach you about this investment. So I started my investments as early as 1999, and over time, I have continued to invest every day of my life. There is no end to it. It's a continuum, right? It's a continuum, and you have to invest up to a time where what you are getting from your investment is able to take care of your daily needs in case you lose your source of income. The importance of investment is that it becomes a backup for you in case you lose your current source of income. For us here, and what you invest shouldn't be large. Don't often think some people say they don't have money to invest. After all, I'm only earning 50K, 50,000 naira. How can I invest out of 50,000 naira? No, you're wrong. You must look at your income, divide it into 4 places. We call it 70, 10, 10, 10. 70, 10, 10, 10. 70% of your income should be for your daily expenses, right? For your upkeep. Then 10% of your income should be saved. Then 10% should be invested. Then the other 10% should be for charity. If you are somebody who gives tithes, then that 10%, you can use that for your tithe if you are somebody who believes in tithing. If you don't believe in tithing, then that 10% should go to charity. So if you divide your income into 70, 10, 10, 10, 70 for your upkeep, 10 for savings, 10 for investments, 10 for charity. Okay, if you do this and practice it over time, it will blow your mind. And when you want to invest, there are schemes you can invest that will, through compound interest, your income will grow. Okay, and then you will have what we call capital appreciation also, right? So, but this is another topic entirely.
It's another
if I want to go into thank you very much.
Well done, man. Well done. Well done.
Next question, please. Next question, please. After we'll give him a big round of applause. But next question, please. Dr. Mrs. Ekwedike. Dr. Mrs. Ekwedike,
Okay.
your question, please. Yep.
Hello, Dr. Ben.
Hello.
Are you hearing me?
I can hear you loud and clear.
Hello.
I can hear you loud and clear. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Me.
Your last question, Dr. Mrs. Ekwedike.
No network issues,
Ma'am, and it goes this way. At what age thing?
It's like she's having network issues.
If someone had the question, can I didn't hear the question because she's having.
At what age?
Okay, at what age? Okay. Okay, at what age?
A child should at what age do you think a child should be exposed to money issues?
At what age should you expose children?
Of creation.
Okay, if I got a question right, it's at what age do you expose children to money issues? I think it should be as early as preschool, as early as 3 years of age, all right, or 5 years of age, depending on the cognitive capacity of the child, right? Because one of the biggest omissions in our school system is lack of financial literacy. So that over time, people go to school, grow up without understanding money, what money is, and how money can be used. If you start with children at an early age, as early as 5, for example, or 3, within 3 to 5, what you observe is that these children, what are you supposed to teach them at that age? You know, let them know what money can be used for. That money can be spent, money can be saved, money can be invested, or money can be given away. If they know this, understand this, as they get older, maybe when they are 6, 7, you start teaching them how to how to save. You know, this time it will be practical. It's not like just making them understand when they are less than 6. This time they should practice it, save some money. So when they get gifts of money, they shouldn't spend it in buying ice cream, all of it. They should keep part of it in a piggy bank, and another part can be, they should be told that this other part is for taxes, right? And another part is for charity, okay? And then one part of it then can be used for their own pleasure, right? And as they, once you teach them how to save, let them show you how they've been saving. Let them know money can be kept for future use. As they get older to teenage age, this time they can even take some financial decisions under your guidance. For example, this time they can even, from their savings, they can do certain things for themselves. So you can teach them how to even invest at that age. But teaching them how to invest this time will still be under your guidance. You can let them have stocks, have shares, and let them see how it grows, the dividends that come in, right? And as they grow in their teenage age, as they practice this, don't forget the influence of other people will begin to come in, because they will now see their friends and see how their friends spend money, or how their friends' parents spend money. These external influences will begin to color whatever you have taught them. But we need to teach them how to remain smart and hold on to the proper financial literacy, that their friends may go into a splurge. They just be spending money the way they like, but they should not be caught in that web. Because see who go, you know, if you keep spending that way, you start borrowing. And if you go borrowing, you go sorrowing. And they should be taught the difference between good and bad debts, right? Because for somebody to be able to create wealth, you should be able to forego what we call consumption in the short term. The inability of people to forego consumption in the short term is the reason for crass poverty in our environment. So somebody buys a pair of shoes that he or she doesn't need, that cannot generate value, right? I'm not saying don't wear shoes, but the thing is this: if you need to invest that money in the short term, you need to invest that money for the long term, and then forgo the comfort of wearing some nice shoes in the short term, it's worth it. There is no reason to buy a very expensive phone if you cannot even use 50% of your phone's capacity, right? And then you just go use the phone for only photographs, and you're not even a photographer, neither are you a social media expert, you know, you're not digitally savvy, right? So at the end of the day, we call that consumption. And the unbridled consumption is the reason for poverty, right? Most people in our society spend more than they earn. And when you spend more than the end, you will have little or nothing for investments. So you must deliberately track what you spend from time to time, right? right? And it's something you have to do on a daily basis until you're pretty sure you understand your spending profile. So once you understand how you spend from time, on the daily basis, then you can now see your spending pattern for 1 month, for 2 months, 3 months. Then you can then vis-a-vis your income, you now know how to cut down some things we call consumption from that you're spending, your average amount of money you spend, so that you can have some money to keep back for investments, which is called wealth creation.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Well done. Well done. Well done.
Dr. Ben, thank you for that answer. But please, the B part of that question she asked goes like this, though you've somehow talked a little about it. Can you kindly let us know the things to do to raise financially savvy children?
Oh, fantastic. Thank you very much. Now, to raise financially savvy children, it's important parents deliberately go and learn or acquire the knowledge of financial literacy. It is called financial literacy. I'm so glad today that you can acquire financial literacy even online. Parents should make it their responsibility, right, to first of all go and learn it and then start practicing it for them to be able to teach their children. If you do not understand financial literacy, you will never be able to teach it. That is why it is not taught in the school. That is why our teachers are the poorest people in our society today, because they didn't learn it, they didn't understand it. I think some.
Mute yourself, eh? Unmute yourself.
Okay. Can you all hear me now?
Yes, yes.
Okay, yes.
Okay. Where you cannot quickly acquire that education, or you think it is too late to acquire that financial literacy education, you need to get somebody who is financially literate to start teaching your children, just as you send them to evening classes or to extramural classes or whatever. They have to attend training. And when they attend the training, let them practice it. I got my understand financial literacy. Children can even do some business during holidays. If you have a business, please let them come there. Let them learn from you, how you do your business, how you save the money. Once you let them know why you can provide certain things for them. That if you are spending this money in entertainment, right? If you have spent it on entertainment, you wouldn't have had the money you use in paying their school fees. So they should also learn that they shouldn't spend all their money on entertainment, right? Because it is what you do they see and practice. Though external influences are there, but you can stop those external influences because you are the first leader they see. And then if you also make it a point of duty to supervise them, they will fall in line. So that, I hope it helps those who are thinking of raising financially savvy children.
Next question.
Wow. Mr. David, the last question, please. The last question from the panelists, please.
David, are you still around?
Mr. David around?
Oscar, you can ask his question, please, so that we can leave.
Okay. Okay, sir, I want to just ask this final question. Sir, what is your message to the convener and to the members of this great community of wealth creators?
All right, thank you very much for that question.
All have said and
yeah.
I just want to ask.
I want to employ you all. I want to employ the convener also to continue what you're doing. This is a great project. It's something that will make a great impact, or have been making a great impact in the lives of people if knowledge sharing like this, continues. You see, what most people, ignorance, we say in this part of the world, we say we have 3 things that blight us, ignorance, poverty, and disease. Right through this platform, you are dealing with one of those 3 problems, one of those, triads, right? And that is what? Ignorance. So through this platform, people are enlightened. People get to know what they should do. And it's incumbent on them to do that. But it is a great thing to do this because we lack this in our society. So many people group in the dark, and as it were, they live by the riverside and wash their eyes in spittle. So that is why this must continue, because it's a great platform to for people to get information and to begin to change their lives. This is called transformational information. So Dr. Jerry and the crew, right? Great job, kudos, and I have this thunderous applause for you. I can only encourage you to continue, and I'll be available anytime to lend my support when I'm called upon. Thank you.
Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, can we please unmute ourselves and give him a big round of applause?
Thank you. I appreciate it.
We have been properly educated and enlightened this evening. I want us to take home some messages before we call for, before we round off, please, any questions from the audience? We said that there shall be 3 questions from the audience at the exhaustion of questions from the panelists. Any questions, please, from the audience? Any questions?
Fernando?
Yes, I have a question.
Please go ahead. Introduce yourself and ask your question.
I once visited a tooth whitening laboratory a little because, sorry, I'm Dr. Mrs. Ekwedike Chinwe.
Yeah, all right.
My question goes this way. I once visited a dentist, asked him about the tooth whitening, and then he said it does more harm than good. I don't know if it's true.
Absolutely not. I'm not the one. But if you visited a dentist and he said that it's very unfortunate, I know that the skill of tooth whitening is not taught in most dental schools. And as a result, it's not strange that many dentists do not have that capacity, okay? So they don't have the knowledge. But tooth whitening is very, very safe. I do tooth whitening practically every week for patients, especially since we went into social media campaign and we run promos for tooth whitening. And as I speak to you, I've not had any case of anybody coming back and telling me they regret the experience. Now, it's a skill a dentist has to learn. If you weren't taught in school, which they don't really do, you have to pay to learn it. All right, aspect of cosmetic dentistry. In short, I have several kits I had procured for different kinds of tooth discolorations. for those who have normal tooth color and just want an enhancement, or those who have discolored teeth. Of course, there are different ways. It's unfortunate that the person even didn't tell you that there is a therapeutic aspect of tooth whitening, because if you have a black single tooth that is visible, perhaps, and you walk up to a dentist, of course, the dentist has one of the options is to whiten that tooth. Although there are other options like making a crown or placing veneers, right? But I must tell you, the technology has improved so much. I want to let you know why he says it's more harmful. He has the impression that you are removing a particular layer. You are removing the outer layer of your tooth, right? So something is being removed or sliced off. So that's the impression he has, that the chemical actually slices off. It doesn't. It doesn't. Okay? I won't go into the technical details here, but if you are interested in further information, Dr. Mrs. Oaikhena, right? I could give you more information after this program. It's safe. I started doing that more than a decade ago, right? And I must tell you, what people may suffer a bit is sensitivity. But even at that, we have anti-hypersensitivity agents that we apply immediately after whitening. Some people have gone to some shops, like some massage parlors, to have tooth whitening. And when they go to such places, they stand a high risk of suffering very serious excoriations or damage to their teeth, because those people are not trained to whiten teeth. When you go to massage parlors or barbing salons or places like that, they don't have the gadgetry, they don't have the theoretical information, they don't even know how to deal with the hazards, right? Only dental surgeons, right, or dentists, doctors should go into that area, because it's highly technical, it's specialized. So I hope I'm able to assuage your fears, madam.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for that
and
response.
I hope you do a giveaway.
I did what?
No, don't worry about it.
I hope you do a giveaway.
No, Hala, when you come, just mention COWEC. COWEC open doors.
Okay. All right, sir.
Okay. Obviously, the dentist that attended to her didn't have the skill. Any other question, please?
Yes, I have a question.
Introduce yourself and ask your questions. Yes, go ahead, please. Introduce yourself and ask your question.
My name is Adize Mefechi.
Adize, go ahead.
My question is, with the advent of technology, now in terms of, we spoke about gratification initially, how useful is delayed gratification in our society as at now? Because when you have technologies like investing in crypto, where you just need to sit in your house, and a whole lot of them like that, how useful is delayed gratification? I know it's useful to an extent, but I want more conviction of how useful delayed gratification is at our present generation, at our present time. How useful is delayed gratification? Since there are a whole lot of things you can do that can actually give you instant results, which are not actually bad.
All right. Now, okay, thank you very much. You observe that delayed gratification will ever remain useful, right? Because it's even more important now than ever. Our forebears, our ancestors did not practice delayed gratification, because then you catch your animal, cook it immediately and eat it, because starvation was a big problem. But today you have realized that obesity is a problem, so you don't have to eat too much and all that. Now I know things like cryptocurrency may pay you, very outstanding or significant incomes in a very short time. But you also agree with me that if you're not careful, you will run into the hands of fraudsters. If you invest in something like crypto, you can get your fingers burnt if you do not do your due diligence. And another thing is that if you just listen to third-party information, you do not try to acquire your own, you don't try to build your knowledge or acquire information from the right sources, you can also make cataclysmic mistakes, right? Now, let me say this. You either learn from mistakes or you learn from mentors, okay? If you do not want to practice delayed gratification, you want instant gratification, then get mentors. Get mentors. Who is a mentor? Somebody who has succeeded in something that you want to also succeed at. When you meet that person, the person will tell you the mistakes he or she had made. And so mentors help you not repeat their mistakes and also show you shortcuts. Unfortunately, in our society, there are very few authentic or truthful mentors, right? There are very few people that will show you, altruistically, sacrificially, how they made it. So you either sit down and begin to learn. I know so many people who have had their fingers burnt because they wanted instant gratification. At no point is anything done in a hurry, done very well, except you have a lucky jump. So, and let me tell you this, most people you see who get instant gratification only had the lucky jump. If they're not careful, quickly, the whole achievements will fizzle out or go back to where it has come from because they did not learn how to get it incrementally. All right. So things like, delayed gratification is still the best, but it depends. Now, some industries you have to get your reward much, much later, while some industry is pretty fast. I have been in direct selling, right? I went into direct selling and hit an instant success 10 years ago. You know why? Because I was already a successful dental surgeon. If you succeed in one thing, right? If you start something else, you are likely going to succeed because you now know how to succeed in things generally. So perhaps if I start in a new industry, I won't, even if I don't understand that industry very much, because of my success in other industries, I'll bring it to this industry and then leverage it. And when I succeed in a few months, people will start screaming, hey, this guy, he got his own wealth instantly, or he got his own success instantly. They wouldn't know that the experience I have, what we call core competence, is transferable. You can transfer your competence from one industry to another industry. So if you are a starter and a startup, right, it's better you do delayed gratification. It can be a few months. Delayed gratification can be a few months to many years, right? So what is important is what endures, not success today and then tomorrow you're feeding from the trash can.
Yeah, let me just add something to what Ben has said. When it comes to issue about delayed gratification, especially in this generation, it is something that we need to take seriously, because no matter what, there's no jumping the gun. We give instances of cryptocurrency. It's true. It's making people rich within a twinkle of an eye. Why are they doing that? There are only two ways to benefit from cryptocurrency. It's either you're a trader or you are a holder. Any other way in between, somebody can rip you off. I have never advised anybody to go and use their money to give someone to go and trade for them, because they can tell you stories and your money is gone. So if you want to benefit from cryptocurrency or even the stock exchange, the forex market, which is also making people millionaires in a short period of time, you need to sit down and learn how to trade. Or in crypto, you buy a coin, wait for it to upscale, and then you sell it. That's the way most people are making their money. But if it is giving people money to trade for you, they can tell you stories, and you can't do anything about it. You can't take anybody to court because it's a contract that is signed online. You can't do anything about it. So it's important that we learn how to delay gratification, because it pays at the end. When you have learned to build your wealth over time, it will pay you at the end. But when you make the money, no, you also spend it, no. That's the way it goes. And that's why life is on the high scale. For most people who make money quickly and spend it quickly, at the end of the day, they're broke because they have not managed their money well. So money management is essential. And you know, we keep talking about the community. If you don't know how to manage your money, the money will just run away from you. Just wanted to add that.
Thank you, the convener. The last question, please, from the audience. The last question from the audience, please. The last question. And we should be fast about it. We're running behind schedule by 17 minutes.
I think it's just round up.
All right. Okay. As a word of closing remarks by the moderator, my humble self. Ladies and gentlemen, we have been properly educated and entertained this evening. Our guest on the hot seat is a financial and an academic guru, and his CV credentials are intimidating. Likewise, he has loaded us very well, and he said a lot of things this evening, but there are things I do not want us to leave here without, reminding us. He said that we should be consistent, that we should be patient in whatever we do, that we should avoid immediate gratification. Rather, we should approach delayed gratification so that whatever we are doing, we can learn very well and succeed. He also said something that when we deploy our resources to helping people, doors equally open for us. He said something about if you want to create wealth, you put in resources, because many of us want to reap what we didn't sow. It doesn't work that way. Life is give and take. That is either you learn from mistakes or from mentors. So it will be very good if we avoid learning from mistakes and take advantage of mentors that are here and there. Though he cautioned that there are few real mentors, so that you have to do your due diligence. And he said something about if you want to cheat the dentist, that you visit the dentist early enough, thus your bill will be low. That's a very powerful tip. And that applies also to medical practice. Many people go to hospital late when there are too many complications and they spend through their nose. That's why most times people do not go to hospital. They end up patronizing quacks and chemists. If you go to hospital on time, you spend less. I tell patients that every day too. Having said that, ladies and gentlemen, I want to call on the person that will give vote of thanks so that we'll call it a day. Vote of thanks, please. If the person is not available, I can give it. And I think I forgot another thing, that we should invest across markets, across regions, and across jurisdiction. However, that we should understand our risk appetites. For those of us that have low risk appetites, that we should invest in safe areas like bonds, mutual funds. And then if you want to hit it big, and that you have the heart, that if you lose $1 billion, that you will not commit suicide, or even 1,000, that you also invest in high risk areas. Thus that when you hit it big like Dangote and the like. The convener, our guest on the hot seat personality, the deputy convener, all other protocols duly observed. On behalf of the community of wealth creators, I want to thank the convener. I want to thank our guest on the hot seat personality, Dr. Benn, for educating us properly this evening. I also want to thank our members who came out in mass to listen to words of wisdom. And I encourage us to, keep putting whatever we're learning from the community into practice. We should not be taking it for granted, the things we are learning at almost no cost. People pay heavily to acquire this knowledge, so that those of us who are privileged should also be consistent. In the long run, we'll all become wealthy people, as our group, the Community of Wealth Creators, emphasize. On that note, I want to thank every one of us for participating this evening. I pray that we'll turn out in mass next time when we have such activity. Good night, everyone, and thank you very much for your rapt attention.
Good night.